You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Welcome to Smart Sex, Smart Love. Where talking about sex goes beyond the taboos and talking about love goes beyond the honeymoon. I'm Dr. Joe Court. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everyone, this week's episode is a special extended show. It's going to be part 1 and part 2, all about Findom, financial domination, when turning over one's money is a turn on. Many men and women have discovered that being forced, quote unquote forced, to pay someone to verbally abuse and command them to perform degrading tasks can be sexually satisfying. My guest this week, Findom master Judas Khrist, has found there seems to be no shortage of people who long to be dominated, humiliated, and relieved of their money. Judas, aka Demon Daddy from Portugal, has made his mark with these consensual human ATM kink transactions. Experienced in online Findom, Judas is a moderator at a male-to-male Findom website, masterscash.com. We also have a woman in the studio named Jess, who's also dabbled in financial domination with submissive men, and she'll be adding to the conversation too. Welcome, Judas, and welcome, Jess.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Good evening. Yeah, good evening to you, right? Because what time is it in Portugal right now?
To me.
Yeah, so,
it's 6 o'clock, so
all right.
It's kind of starting to go dark now.
All right. Well, we're just in the morning here, our afternoon. So, why don't we start, if you wouldn't mind? People are going to think, what is Findom? What is financial domination? Can you explain that?
Well, yeah, I can try to. Financial domination as a kink or as a fetish is the transaction of money from someone, normally a sub, meaning they will be in a lower rank than the master or the dom, and someone will be forcefully or deliberately. Sorry if my English isn't perfect. I'm Portuguese, if you don't mind.
It's good.
So it is just the sending of money or the taking of the money. Normally, in theory, most of the people that do this, thinking of the great fin subs, the ones that attribute the most money, normally they can't really get any relief of their personal life. They need to let go in some way that they're not able to. Most of the times they tried everything. They tried sex. They tried to add other kinks. They tried to be the doms themselves when they find it really, really relieving when they give up the money, when they give up the hard hours that they put into that money, because money is work hours, and work hours given to someone is basically your life. So there's no difference. There's nothing more brutal than taking someone's paycheck right after they got it, right? And it's like a virtual part of the BDSM trend. So it's taking the BDSM to another virtual level when money has to exist. So the power that would exist on contact base doesn't. So the money is transferred, and that makes them feel good and makes us feel good.
So I'm glad you said that about the BDSM. So bondage, discipline, sadomasochism for our listeners. So that
exactly.
When people are surrendering, you usually think of that, you're surrendering your body, right? They're being tied down, their impact play, spanking, slapping, being flogged. But in this case, the eroticism, the surrendering, erotic surrendering is money. That's the power exchange.
Yes. This time it's different. Most of the times it's not only the money; it comes with something else. But the money being the central part of it. That's why I said it's like an extension of the BDSM part, as you said it. But still, yes, the fulcral part of this is the money, and for me mostly, as I'm not gay, neither bisexual, so I don't get any. I'm a straight male. So I'm attracted to females. So I could get some type of sexual benefit from this, right? With the male subs that I don't. I do get other satisfaction from it, but that has to do with my mental high, with the power surge that I get when I have someone in control, when I know that someone will do what I want, or when we're displaying some kind of task or some kind of humiliating thing.
So let's break that down. I love everything you just said. And, my work, a lot of my current work is about straight men who have sex with men or have sexual exchanges or some kind of power exchange where one of the men or both of the men are having some kind of sexual interest or energy. And so people are going to say, they're going to hear you saying this and say, hold on, you're taking money from men who are doing this sexually and you're saying you're not gay. How could that be? Can you explain that?
That's easy. Let's picture this in another way, because Findom is done in the real life mostly without people noticing, and I got some really normal examples for you. An attractive girl that is in high school, right? She's in high school, and most guys will try to give her stuff or at least give her attention. If she really wants to, she can use them, because she just needs to say it, right? She just needs to get there and say, hey, I want this. And they will get it to her because they worship her. That's what they want. They want attention. They want contact. They don't want sex per se because that's unattainable. They know they can't have it, right? And as they know they can't have it, they will try to do the best thing next to it to be the best. Because it's not done. It's not going to happen. And that in the mind of in my mind, in my experience with most males, some really hate it and don't want anything to do with it, right? With me being a straight dom, but others really like that part because they feel like I'm more in control because I'm not bended by sex.
Right. So
they try to bend me.
Yeah.
They try to, but they can't.
Wait.
Because I won't.
Wait, you're going too fast. I like what you said before. So you were normalizing it. You're saying, look, there's just this normal trade-off between males and females, right? There's a young woman or any woman who is being where the guy is trying to court her through financial reward and gifts and that kind of thing. And she's not necessarily turning this into something sexual. She might be enjoying the gifts that the guy's giving her. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying,
and in the same high school, there's bullies, right? And there's guys that are bullied. I'm not saying that every guy that was bullied obviously liked it, because most didn't. I was bullied myself in school, and I hated it. I really can't figure out why would I eroticize it, but I know that some do. The first big, I'm gonna say the term cash rape. This is a term that we use normally in Findom, related to a big prize pool or a big number. So the first time I took 3 numbers from someone was 600 euros from a straight dude that was younger than me, and what I had to do to get it was actually bully him, because he explained to me that in high school he was bullied by a smaller kid than him, and it was with his girlfriend, and that made him feel aroused. He described it as his nirvana when she went away, and he just felt humiliated, and the other kids laughing and everything about it, all the degradation and humiliation that would normally make someone feel bad, even though it made him feel unsafe, it made him also feel warm and cared for and weirdly aroused.
This is fascinating to me as a therapist, right? Because you think, is this something that became erotic, or was it already erotic inside him? And when it happened, it was naturally exciting for him, right? So a lot of therapists would say, no, he eroticized this. It's not normal. And what I love about our conversation in these two parts is going to be normal is what is normal to the person. So someone else may want heteronormative penis and vagina sex, and that works for them. But for other people, hiring you and being bullied in the same way they were as a kid, that felt good then feels good now. That's what happened, right?
Obviously. Yeah. And I tend to, obviously, I have some limits, and I don't do some types of things. The main things will be, obviously, they will not affect anyone else besides them. If they're married or have kids, I won't do as much damage as I would do normally. And obviously, I tend to do either a before care session and an after care session online, which is weird for most. And I do it live on Master's Cash sometimes, and the other DOMs feel weirded out because I talk normally to people like before you're a sub, you're a person, right? We're all persons. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense if it is 24/7, because if it is 24/7, then it's probably a mental problem, okay? Because no one should see this as a full regimen. It's a part, it's a fetish. It's something that people fantasize about, and we bring it to life. So everything should be okay as long as it doesn't affect others and it doesn't hurt the person itself in a non-good way. A non-good way meaning that they will destroy themselves.
Right. So you're really careful. Like you're not just saying, "Give me your money," and they give your money, and you don't care. You have
at the beginning. I wasn't. At the beginning, I wasn't. When you see the money flowing at the start, you don't really care, and that's a big message to pass through to everyone listening. That this isn't like, oh, this is easy money made online, and I just have to post pictures naked and all. No, I don't post pictures naked. I work people's minds. This is a different thing. I'm not an escort. No one pays me for sex, neither do they pay for any type of service beyond what I offer. I may offer something related to bondage, something even close to sex, because I may make people do something, but I won't do it. So it's different.
I want to make sure that people understand when you say make them or take their paycheck, this is all consent and all pre-negotiated with people.
I'm doing all this online, so I don't have the power to actually do it myself.
Right.
They have to click the button. They have to put my email. They have to put my number. They have to put everything.
Yes.
So I'm not really obliging someone to do it. I'm just taking them there, right?
Right. And your role play, it's a role play that you're taking my money, but really they're giving you their money. Obviously. And yes, right. And it's a feeling of being dominated.
Yeah. Again, in the past, there's a couple of things I do, meaning kink related or fetish related. One of the things I like to do the most has to do with intoxication, and that will get someone drunk or high, and then I'll command them. With that, I tend to be over careful because I had some experiences in the past when people send it more than what they should, and actually had to send it back.
Okay.
Because otherwise, they would just like starve to death because they were really drunk and made a stupid decision to send me like $600 on the last night, right?
Okay.
And then the next day, they messaged me crying and saying that they don't have money to eat.
Okay. All right.
So
then,
obviously,
so then
I'll do
you
the right thing.
back. You care enough where you're gonna. I know that some people don't. Some people are like, sorry, you sent me this money.
Most people won't care enough. Okay,
right.
Let's not cover this and pre things because it's not. Most people won't do this.
Right. And I think it's important you're using terms. I want everyone to understand a findom is financial dominating, a financial dom. A fin sub is a financial sub. And when you say cash rape, people aren't going to know what cash rape mean. What does that mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Cash rape is the act of taking the money off a sub or the sub sending it either per rounds or with some type of game or just straight up taking from him. And it's the act of taking money from a sub, of a female or male cash master or findom taking the money from a fin sub. That's cash rape.
So do you do women too? It's not just men?
Yes. Gladly I do women too. I have a few cash slaves. There are not as many as the men. But yes, I do.
How is it different with women who want to do it? Like, is it the same?
Obviously for them, no, it's more so the same. I tended to notice that female want to be exposed more. And by exposed, it's the kink of being exposed as normally something degrading related to sexual terms. Either they are really normal and vanilla in their normal life and they want to be really kinky, so they post pictures of themselves or have someone like me posting pictures of themselves telling them they're my property. Then the men normally, even if they want to be degraded, as they know I'm straight, so they tend not to try as much as the woman tried to.
To be sexual?
To be sexual, yeah.
Okay. So the women, with their permission, they want to have you treat them like property and expose them on like websites or Twitter or what?
Yeah, Twitter normally, websites as well, like Master Sketch as well.
Okay.
the other site where I started, it's called epays.com. It's more of a Findom, female to male, financial domination kind of thing. But I started there, and then to where I got my first straight sub, the one that I talked about.
Okay. You know, the first time I heard about this, I read an article. I'll never forget it. It was about financial domination or whatever, and the author was writing that a wife had found texts going back and forth between he and a Findom female. And she didn't know that though. It was just a woman that she started seeing was having an affair with him. And but she said, I have your credit card information, I have all your banking stuff, I have pictures of you naked, I own you, and I'm blackmailing you, and you better pay me or I'm going to tell your wife. So this caught her attention, like, oh my God, like, forget the infidelity for a minute, we're in trouble, only to find out that her husband got off on all of this. It was play blackmail, and she did have all these accounts and all the access to money, but she would never do this to him. It was all the threat of that caused him. And right. So then unpacking that, imagine I'm trying to unpack that in a therapy session, because the wife is feeling like, wait, you cheated on me. But then there's this whole fetish that's involved too. Have you ever seen stuff like that?
Actually, he didn't really cheated on her. He just desired someone online and sent her money.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't consider that cheating as a definition, at least for me, right? Mm-hmm. I would be pretty bummed if I found out that obviously my wife was sending someone like money and craving them, but I wouldn't consider it cheating.
I agree with you, but the women that come in my office and even the men, they do. But I'm with you.
I mean, that's normal. That's normal. I mean, normally love isn't rationalized, so I wouldn't.
So do you have people? But do you have people, and do you do like the blackmailing? Like, if you don't do this, I'm going to tell.
I did blackmail in the past, blackmail fetish. I don't really enjoy it as I think. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest about it. Mm-hmm. I found out with Findom that I enjoy sadism. I enjoy seeing people in pain, and I enjoy mostly seeing people begging. And when they're truly humiliated, or a borderline almost wanting to leave the session, I really enjoy that feeling.
Why? Tell us why. And what is it about?
I don't know what is it. It's weird. I don't get aroused. I don't get a boner. Okay, I don't get an erection, but I do get a mental rush that I don't get with anything else. I normally laugh really loud. I normally laugh with the strength that I normally don't. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a mental high that I didn't get with anything else. Yeah, I can't really describe it in any way possible without that. And normally, if I do really good in one night, if I have like a really good, again, cash rape, I'll be really psyched out through the morning and I won't sleep because I'm excited. I'm still feeling the blood rushing. I mean, it has come down. It comes down with time, but I'll never forget the first time I even got like 10 euros or 20 euros. Mm-hmm. I felt it like that. And that made me stay.
So what is it that you won't do? Like if somebody contacts you and says, "Hey, I want to do Findom and I'll be your Fin sub and I
won't do permanent markings on anyone, or I won't tell them to do it. Only will do it if it is like a tattoo and if it's something bearable and obviously accounted for and from me and the person. Mm-hmm. No blade play online, no type of cuts online, nothing related to erotic asphyxiation or erotic auto asphyxiation online.
Where there's breath play, right? You won't do breath play.
Yeah, not online. Okay. I'll do it. I'll do popper training. I'll do.
Wait! No one's going to know what that means. What are poppers?
Yeah, poppers are a liquid that it's made to sniff or to put on a room to ambientize the room, and is a aphrodisiac. You should call it like that. And it's made to let the muscles loose and get you a mental high for a couple of seconds while again you're proceeding to the act of sex. There's a lot of use of poppers in the gay community, and I found out with Findom, I didn't know. Also, in the BDSM related community, and again in the Findom online part of that, there's a lot of use of poppers. So there's a lot of subs. We normally call them, and I'm gonna say the word even though I don't really like to say it, but I'll say it eventually, and I really want to pause to explain it. Fags or faggots, as the name says it, is used in the scene, normally in the male-to-male Findom scene, pretty usually just to describe a sub, because mostly they're gay men after someone that is straight or bisexual but does not consider himself a faggot. And the gays, the faggots do consider themselves that. So it's not it's seen as derogatory term.
Derogatory,
is
yeah.
that a
derogatory?
Thank you term, but on the role play. So it's not real. I'm not an homophobe, and I don't use the word in my normal life because I hate it.
So let me.
But again, online I do.
I like
on the
what
role
you're.
play part.
Yeah. So let me just. I'm gonna because we did this with Miles Stryker and he explained it as well. You know the male subs, even if they're straight, want to be. They're still called fags, and even but dominant masters who are gay, they're not called fags. Fag is just a humiliating, derogatory term, like you're saying. That's the role play. Being called a faggot is arousing to the person who's being called that, right?
Exactly, and they normally want to be called that, and they like it. Verbal abuse is really common. Humiliation is really common, but mostly they get off on verbal abuse. And the term, again, faggot, will come out a lot as that it referring persons or people or subs as it, as things.
Right, so they want to
not
be
actual people,
right? Totally objectified, or really be a human
Exactly.
ATM, like we said in the intro. They just want you to use them for money. I've had clients where they hire a dom, and all they do is go to an ATM. The dom meets them there. They pull out the money that the dom says, $200, whatever, and the dom, Findom, would spit in his face, maybe slap him, throw him to the ground, and walk away. And that's the experience.
Exactly.
And he's excited and happy.
And that is called a cash meet.
Oh. There's a word for it. Okay. So it's a cash meet. Okay.
A cash meet where you just need a sub. You'll drive him to the ATM, or he's going to like have you going to his car or something where he has the money, and then you're going to have a small talk, and you'll do whatever you want to him. The dom, right? Mm-hmm. And you will get off of it, but normally they're really short encounters. They're really sweet.
Sweet.
Because they're like, they are almost in real life, right? Because there's people around. Yeah. Everyone is noticing.
Oh, right.
But at the same time, no one really cares, right? Yeah. Because in my experience, at least, I had 2 cash meets and no one intervened. Because, again, the person after talked to me and I talked to him and I hugged him and then I went away.
Wait, so
I always hug my subs.
Okay,
if I meet them.
Right, so there's but before we go there, so I always wonder though, you're being filmed when you go to that teller machine, right? So there you are, there they are, and if there's an exchange of bullying, I always wonder, does the bank watch that, and would they call the person and say
they will only watch that if the person calls and says that they were robbed or something. Otherwise, they wouldn't.
I see. Okay. Well, that's the risk of the dom, isn't it? That could happen if you do this.
Yeah, that could happen at any time.
Right.
That's the most difficult part or weirder, like gray area about it. That's why I said I don't do that much related to blackmail, because consensual blackmail, even though it is a thing, it is not a thing legally. Okay? Blackmail is blackmail. Period.
Good point.
So if that guy that you told me about wanted to press charges against that lady, that Findom lady that was actually making blackmail, it wouldn't matter if they had an agreement.
Yeah.
Because she did blackmail them. It's there.
I think it's really important. If you don't mind, I want to just put on my therapist hat for a minute because people are going to listen to this. I'm sure some people would laugh and some people would, like, how could this be anything? And we're going to have to stop in a minute and we'll come back when we, to do part 2. But I just want to say that this is really, if people can forget the money part and the dom and the sub, it's really about surrendering, letting someone else be in control. Pretending to yourself, you want this, but you don't have the nerve to let yourself know you want this. So you turn it over to the dom. It's like, so then you make me do this so I don't have to feel the guilt that I wanted this, the guilt from my religion, the guilt from my marriage, the guilt from how I feel about myself. So there's a lot of psychology and the mental part that's very, very, that's gotten eroticized, and it's play. Like people say, why would somebody want them to take their money and take their paycheck? And because they're playing with it, and people there's a budget for it. Even if they go too far over their budget, it's the eroticism of playing on the edge with a powerful thing, money. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, totally agree with that. And it's about like getting to know the triggers, what makes that person tick, because every person is a person, every sub is a sub. Everyone inside them is a huge universe with a lot of things that will affect the person and will drive them to fear or drive them to excitement or both. And that has to be known.
Yes.
The person has to be destroyed first in order to be put it back together again in a constructive way if they're too destructive to themselves, or just getting to know what they are so you can use it to your advantage again, using them as something, as a property, as a thing. And they do get off of it, yes. If you forget the money, that's what they want, the control.
So we're going to end this first part, but where can people find you before we end so that they know how to get in touch with you if they want to?
Well, I got my Twitter. It's at Demon Daddy Judas. I also, as was said, I am a moderator at a male-to-male Findom website. It's like a community hub that's called Master's Cash. You can have me there talking to you almost every day. And I have my Skype email as well.
Great, and we're going to list. Go ahead.
No, I'll leave it as a text.
Okay, yeah, we're going to leave it on the website too. It'll be there. I just wanted people to know. Thank you for this first half hour. We're going to come back and talk with you for part 2.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll be delighted.
All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of Smart Sex, Smart Love. I'm Dr. Joe Kort, and you can find me on joekort.com. That's JOEKORT.com. See you next time.